But I think for me, in terms of silence, for example, it was the most important was to recreate like the same energy system that you do
Right.
there. So the route is long, but it's extremely bouldery. So I haven't really done any like long endurance. I just had to be sure that I climb 8B with a lot of knee bars before without getting tired at all. And then you have this very short power endurance to climb this short.
Yeah, and so here we'll pull up the crux here for a second, if you wouldn't mind just kind of talking me through what what was going on, during this section of the climb here. I'll get us up to you. So you're starting.
So the whole crux is like so much precision demanding. It's really difficult already from the first move to climb the route like relaxed, fast, and not slipping off. So even though like these three moves they look really easy, it took me for ages to like get them consistently. And this is the hardest crux move, which in isolation it's for sure the hardest. But then the hardest part is like to be strong enough to do the toe jam and to get it there like precisely enough. I could still get the toe jam, be able to do maybe 4 or 5 moves more, but then if I didn't get this toe jam perfectly, I was never really able to do this move or this move. There are different methods. It's probably better with the different methods. They are Stefano and also Jakob was toe jamming the right foot, which I tried a bit, but I never really found the way how to get out of it. It's probably they say it's probably a bit easier. I knew I had to get to the position where I was toe jabbing like 100% strong to be able to like put it there precisely enough. And then here in the crux 2, I got it sold out. From the beginning, I just thought like this is a section where I can never fall, and in the end, I never fell. In the end, even if the anchor of the route is like after the crux 1, I think it still gets the same grade. That's just like a mental challenge to
Yeah,
finish
well,
the
that
route.
also looked
But honestly, I don't think
it
it's
looked
changing the grade.
incredibly challenging, even coming out of the jam there. Obviously, you climbed it very
Mhm.
quickly and very precisely, but how hard was that sequence traversing over to the right there?
So the crux 1, I would say it's hard 8C. But if you add like 5 moves before, which by itself are maybe only 7B boulder problem, V7 boulder problem, I think it's hard 8C plus. For sure, like it's the hardest boulder problem I've ever done. It's hard to call it a boulder problem because like this, it's maybe 20 moves. Then you have a good knee bar rest, 8A plus, 8B boulder problem, and this boulder problem is maybe like 7B
Well, and
plus, 7C. But you have really good rests in between, so it's not really that it makes much of a difference in total grade.
all right, y'all, just a quick minute here to talk about every climber's favorite topic, finger strength, and how we can build it. And I'm telling you guys, this has changed the game for me. Check out the force board. I've been using it for a while now, and I am already seeing the difference in my finger endurance and finger strength. And that's because it's allowing me to precisely dial in what I need in any given workout. I mean, it's tiny, so I can throw it in my bag and take it to the crag for my warm up or to the gym or when I'm traveling. It logs everything in the app automatically. I can even see how I stack up against the community with regard to my finger strength. It's gamifying the way I'm training. Dr. Tyler Nelson's been on the show to talk about how effective this kind of training is, and I am loving it. If you're a geek about training your fingers like I am, you got to check out the Force Board. It's cheaper than a pair of climbing shoes, and it's going to level up how you train your fingers. Also, if you use that link below and use code STRUGGLE at checkout, you get 10% off, and the show gets a little bit of love. So get out there, get those strong fingies, and start sending. It's incredibly gymnastic. I mean, you're constantly on this route, throwing your feet above your head to get some oppositional force and that kind of thing. Is that something that you worked on the spray wall as well, or was this just learned on the route?
Both, yeah. But I would say the route, despite its steepness, is really technical. It's maybe a little bit less gymnastics than it looks like. You know, in some of the gymnastics things, I don't know, like front lever or stuff like this, I'm not really that strong. But for example, these things are, they are not useless. It's good that if you have it, but they are maybe a bit less important than it looks like in
What about
climbing.
the exit climbing here? It's still you're still trying really hard. I mean, there's some power screaming going on as you're kind of going around this bulge here at the end.
It's maybe V5. I was really, really nervous. And I'm more like power screaming because I really don't want to mess up. And the problem is here that my legs from all the knee barring before are just
Mm.
gone. And I don't trust them anymore.
So what's going?
So sometimes, like especially in the exit of the hard routes, I'm power screaming because I really want to make sure that I don't mess up.
Got it. Yeah, you just don't want to punt after being through the hardest stuff. So what's going through your mind right now then as you're pulling around the corner?
I think my mind is just completely empty, and here it's just so intense that I don't know what to say. Like usually I'm just screaming from joy, but I was silent.
Yeah, I'm glad you made that point because I noted that as well in doing a ton of research for this, rewatching a lot of these classic sends that you've had. You typically when you flash something on site, something send a project, you're screaming, you're doing that classic Adam Ondra, fist pump and this kind of thing. And here, yeah, just absolute silence. Is that where the name of the route came from?
Yeah, it was weird. That was probably the reason because it was the most, and it is the most important route that I've ever done. And because it was probably so intense, that's the only time where I couldn't really scream from joy. I was just too overwhelmed.
Hey, if you enjoyed this conversation here with the king, Adam Ondra, guess what? I talked with him for almost 2 hours on the podcast where he opened up and shared secrets to his training, nutrition, tactics, and mental game. He also shared some stories that I'd never heard before. It's so, so good. If you're serious about rock climbing, if you want to get better as a climber, I invite you to check out the podcast. You can listen to it for zero cost right there.